Welcome back to another episode of Hot Freestyle's Chop Up series. I'm your host, Tallie Spencer, and today we are chopping it up with 24kGoldn. How are you?
Man, I'm feeling good. How you feeling today?
I'm doing well. How's your day treating you so far?
Well, I just woke up and I've been in bed all day, so I can't complain.
Been in bed all day. I feel it. And how has your quarantine been? Have you picked up any new hobbies, any new skills?
um, just making a lot of good music and reflecting. Now, life has been so fast paced up until the beginning of quarantine. Like that was the first time I really got to sit down for a second and be like, damn, we've been through a lot of shit.
Right, I'm sure. And like speaking of, you've been through a lot of shit. You've had an incredible year. You just have a #1 single for the second week in a row on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. So congrats on that. That's huge.
Thank you very much.
Of course, of course. What was your reaction like when you found out that you were #1?
Man, I remember waking up and seeing that and just like waking the whole house up and running around because I live with two of the producers that did that song. So I was just wilding out, running throughout the house, yelling, "We got a #1! We got a #1!" I jumped in the pool. Like I just felt so much joy, because this is monumental.
Right. No, it's huge. And you being so young and so new to the industry still, I read in other interviews that you weren't expecting this at all.
Nah, I knew I was going to be able to be an artist and live out my dream, but I didn't know to what extent that was going to come, and especially with this song, which was kind of made on accident too. Like for it to be as big as it is, that's just a surprise, but a happy surprise for sure.
Right. And you said that Mood was made on accident. What do you mean by that? How was it made on accident?
So me and Omer pulled up to Ian's crib during quarantine at the beginning because we were bored, and we're just kicking it. I'm playing Call of Duty with Ian, and KBZ's there, and KBZ and Omer, they don't want to play Call of Duty. They want to make beats. They're producers. That's what they do. So Omer grabs one of Ian's guitar and just starts cooking up. And when I hear that guitar riff, I can't help but sing along. And what I ended up singing was the hook for Mood. So when Omer hears that, he's like, "All right, stop the game. Forget all that. Like, come lay that down." So I lay my part down. Ian lays his verse down. I lay my verse down. And I look at it like, damn, we snapped.
Wow, that's crazy how something like that just happened, randomly and over quarantine too. I feel like if it weren't quarantine, who knows if that song would have came together.
Yeah, no quarantine, no mood, no mood. We don't get to talk to each other today.
But here we are as a result. And what's it like sharing that moment with Ian Dior? Did you call him right up after you found out that the song went #1?
I mean, we've been seeing each other so much just because we got to do all these performances for it, and that's really cool because being an artist, it can very easily feel isolated because nobody really knows what it's like to be an artist except for other artists, and
Right.
not every artist is cool. Niggas be having egos and shit and
Yeah.
all their own lives going on. But for me to be able to celebrate this with a friend, like someone that we were friends before we ever released a song together, that makes it that much more special to me because I know it's real and I know we're actually like happy for each other that we both get to succeed and eat off this.
Absolutely. And it's a very rare thing for that to happen for two newer artists, especially to like go #1 that quickly too.
Yeah, I mean, we came in and we shake the game up, like nobody probably would have called in the industry, "Oh yeah, that Mood song, that's going to be a Billboard #1 2 weeks in a row." Nobody would have said that, not even me. That's how I know. So we're just changing expectations and showing the world like, yo, you don't gotta fit in a certain box or gotta act a certain way or look a certain way to be successful. Just do you, because that's what we're doing.
Absolutely. Would you ever consider a collab album with him?
I definitely considered it. Yeah, definitely considered.
Okay, so possibly something in the works. Possibly. Okay, we'll see. But speaking of how quickly, your rise to being number one has been, just last year you were a student at USC, and then you took a leave of absence. So speaking of USC, I'm a Trojan too. Fight on.
Oh, fight on and say that.
Yep. So I graduated last year. I believe you were there. And then at one of the concerts, they played like your song, like I Go to USC. So from there, that's when I kind of first found out about you. And it's crazy now how it's like a full circle moment in terms
Yeah.
of you were just at USC and now you're like number one on Billboard.
I mean, we were just at USC. That's crazy. I can't believe I didn't run into you or something. But big school, and yeah, definitely looking back a year and from where I was a year ago to where I am now, like I feel like I got the cheat code to life or something like that. Like, yo, this is it, everything's just been working out too perfectly. But I'm just appreciative and keeping it rocking. Let's keep it going.
Right, right. So you received a full scholarship to go to USC and then you took a leave of absence. Was that a hard decision for you to make in terms of leaving?
Easiest decision of my life.
What made it an easy decision?
Because at that point, I knew my purpose. It's like it was a call to action, in the hero's journey. Like I got to where I needed to go, and I had something I thought I was doing, but there was a call from the universe, like, hey, you got a shot at this. We got a record deal on the table. You gonna take that leap of faith or not? And I took it because I just knew that was gonna lead to all this. Like that was gonna lead to where I wanted to go in life. And I don't need school. I already know what I want to do for my job.
Right, right. So even though you're on a leave of absence, I think that means like you have 10 years to decide whether or not you want to go back. Do you think you ever would go back to just finish it out?
In my perfect world, no, I'll be able to do everything that I want without having to go back to school. Because school, is better than most. USC takes a lot of time, yo. It's a hard school,
It
and
is.
it's a hard to be a rapper and a student at the same time. I don't know how Meg Thee Stallion does it, but shout out to her.
So did you ever have that experience then of actually being a student? Because things started taking off for you while you were in school. So did you ever, like
Oh,
go to class and then have
I
to
was in lecture halls. I was doing essays. I've been through the worst of it, those GE classes first semester. But yeah, I definitely put my time in as a scholar before skirting off.
Okay. So at least you got something in, and then you can still say you went to USC for a little bit.
Yeah,
That's what people know you from too. What was your major?
I'm a business major.
Okay. Why did you choose business? Did you always know that you wanted to pursue anything in music at the time, or why
So
business?
I used to think I was going to be a hedge fund manager because the most successful person that I had known growing up, he was a hedge fund manager. So I was like, all right, this seems like a pretty solid plan. Like I see how this works out. I see what that kind of entails. But as I got older, I realized like I could do it and I could be very successful at it. But I don't know if that would make me the most happy. Because I probably had to cut my hair and wear a suit every day, and I just trying to be fly 24/7. That doesn't really line up with who I am. So
Yeah.
this kind of ended up being the perfect thing for me to do.
No, absolutely, absolutely. You transitioned into your passion and now, it's worth it a whole year later. Did you ever imagine that you would be where you are today whenever you made the decision to leave USC?
Yeah, I just didn't know when it was gonna happen. And I always said I'm gonna be the biggest artist in the world. I'm gonna be the biggest artist in the world. I'm gonna be the biggest artist in the world. I have the biggest song in the world. That's pretty close. So now it's just to enjoy the moment and stay consistent, because I've proven everything I have to prove to the world.
Absolutely. If you could do it once, you could do it again. And now it's kind of like that stamp of validation?
It's just like reaffirming what I already knew. Like, yo, I make good music. People gonna like it. I could do this for real.
Right. Absolutely. Were there any artists who reached out to you to say congrats that you were surprised by?
Man, I'll tell you this. Young Thug's manager, Geoff, FaceTimed me on Saturday, and he was like, "Yo, I got someone here that wants to say what's up." And he turns the camera, and it's Young Thug, and he's like, "Yo, congratulations on number one." And I'm like, "Yo, thank you very much, Mr. Thugger," because I like that. That is like someone I've been listening to since middle school, pretty much. So it always feels good when you get recognition from the people that you looked up to.
Right, right. I can't even imagine. It's like you just get a FaceTime and it's Young Thug on the other line, and you're like, I've been listening to you since I've grown
I
up.
can't say that. I can't say that. You know, that's a little. I wouldn't say that, but I know that. You know, I'll tell you that. But I just said thank you very much. Graciously accepted it.
Ah, that's amazing. And speaking of, you said that you stay fly 24/7, and I see you got a little fashion sense going on. You got a very unique, distinct style. Is fashion something that you also are very much into and want to like pursue later down the line?
100%. I was making clothes before I was making music. I would like before it was cool to have rips in your jeans and shit like that. I would go in and tear up all my jeans in middle school and take little tweezers and pluck the threads out. I was
Okay.
into sneakers before, like customizing them and reselling them and stuff like that. So I think, I'm an artist. I'm not a rapper. I'm not a singer. I'm an artist in all sense of the words because I gotta express myself through
Right.
creating, and that's not limited to just music. I want to do fashion. I want to do TV and movies. I might fuck around and do a stand-up comedy show one day, like whatever I can express myself in. But fashion to me is the most apparent form of expression. Like I could look at you and I'm looking at you right now, looking at your shirt. You got the little collar going up. You got a nice pattern on it. Like that says a lot about you without even you having to say anything. So I see you and good fashion's on the way.
Well, thank you. That means a lot coming from you. You got the necklace right here. I see it.
I'm not wearing any clothes. What you talking about?
The necklace. It's a fashion statement.
Okay, this
The,
was a
the
I fell
choice.
asleep at 6 in the morning with my jewelry on statement.
Okay. Well, the choice, not to wear a shirt is also a statement. So I'm like, all right, that's a decision.
True, very true.
I love that. Well, dope. As far as the rest of this year, I know you got a lot of things that you're working on, potentially a mood remix in the works. So I hear. Okay, so there's a mood remix in the works. What can you tell us about that, if
I
anything?
mean, two of the biggest superstars in the world are getting in it. It's I feel like the Avengers. We bring in people from all around the world to make this a global smash. So it's coming out next week on the 6th. I hope you like it.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Are you gonna drop a music video to go with it?
Probably like a little visualizer thing. It's kind of hard to get a lot of people together when there's like the invisible virus killing us all.
Right. Yeah. No, that's true. That's true. That's very much, with the quarantine. But speaking of that, what has your creativity been like during the quarantine? Do you feel a little bit more productive at all in terms of making music?
It's like on and off, especially with mood going up. I haven't really had a lot of time to make music. I'm doing promos and traveling across the country and figuring it all out. But every time I've gotten in the studio since then, since mood, I'm like, am I gonna be bad at making music now? Like, is this it? But every time it's like still fire, and I'm like, all right, cool, we're rocking. So I've been working a lot on the album, El Dorado, getting that wrapped up. Got a couple more singles for y'all before then, at least one before the end of the year. So just trying to find inspiration from everywhere inspiration is offered.
Right, right. Where does your inspiration typically come from? I know you said you're working on the album and you have another single dropping. With the quarantine and being on lockdown, where does that source of creativity come from for you?
Um, Me, I figured out how to bottle that inspiration, because my best songs don't start in the studio. My best songs start in life, and like if it's a melody or a lyric, I'll remember that. And when I pull up to the studio, that's when you bring it out and you work on it, because it's hard to get inspired in literally like a dark box room, with just equipment everywhere. Like, how does that inspire you? Life is inspiring when I'm looking out over this view right here and going and meeting new people and living new experiences. So whenever that triggers something from wherever it comes from, I just remember that and work on it in the studio.
Absolutely. And I like that you said that you're inspired by life. I think that's a very important thing that, you know, it like creativity doesn't just come to you in a box, like you were saying. Like you have to take inspiration from the things around you, the people around you, your experiences, because that's what makes you authentic as an artist.
Yeah, I don't want my music to sound like anybody else but me, you know? And if it doesn't come from my life, it ain't gonna hit the same.
Right, right. And you're very versatile as an artist too. So I'm assuming, your creativity comes from everywhere. And I'm curious to know, with this album, El Dorado, that you're working on right now, what has been your main source of inspiration for it?
So El Dorado, that name comes from uh my mom's coworkers. They used to call me El Dorado, and when she bring me to work, and that means the golden one, but it also means the golden city in like native Latin mythology. So for me, it's taking elements of myself, being having the real name Golden, but also looking at the Golden City, which is San Francisco, where I come from, and also the kind of more mythological fantasy component of that, and combining them all together to create a world that my fans can live in, not just musically, but the visuals got to be on point too. Like, I really want you to feel like you're walking into my world.
Okay, El Dorado. And that, kind of reminds me of the childhood movie. You've seen it, right? I'm
The
sure.
Road to El Dorado, yeah,
The
a little
Road
bit.
to El Dorado. I love that movie, and they go and it's a golden city, and it goes with your name, obviously. But I'm curious, what kind of sounds are we going to be able to expect from you? Your catalog has been very distinctive, very versatile. So in terms of this album, what do you think audiences can expect?
So when on the EP dropped out of college, it was more me kind of figuring out the not even the limitations of my abilities, but what could I actually do, And it's like, all right, I made a hip hop song, I made a pop song, I made a rock song, I made a emo rap song, just kind of figuring out all the different styles I could do. El Dorado is me taking the elements from those different styles and pulling them together to create a sound that's uniquely me. So I feel like on this album, it doesn't sound like anything else. It sounds like you could play it 20 years ago, and it also sounds like you play it 20 years in the future. So I know this is really about to shake up the game, and it's about to have a lot of people fucked up because they're gonna be like, damn, I don't know how to make music anymore. Like, this is so different and it's working. I gotta try and figure that style out. But you can't ride the wave. You just gotta make your own.
Yes, absolutely. I think that's a very valid point to make. And I'm super excited to hear it. I can't wait to see what you got coming out next. As far as, you receiving the #1 hit this year and kind of exceeding everybody's expectations, do you kind of feel like you were like the underdog at one point and now people are starting to give you your credit?
I still feel like the underdog, and I'm gonna always feel like the underdog because I ain't competing against nobody but myself, and I set my expectations so high. I know I can achieve greatness. So anything less than that, is I still got stuff to work for. But I definitely, I'm gonna always see myself as an underdog. But the world definitely did see me as an underdog this year. I don't think most people expected me to make XXL Freshman. I don't think most people expected me to get a #1 song ever, if even at 19, So I'm just happy to break the stereotypes and show people, just do you and do it well and you'll be good.
Right, right. That's a great takeaway. I'm so excited for you. I'm happy for you. Congrats on everything that you've accomplished up to this point. I know you're just getting started in your journey, so you have a lot more to go. What are some of your biggest goals in the future? Like, do you have any things that you still want to accomplish that you haven't yet?
Um, yeah, I have a lot I want to accomplish. I got to be in a Avengers movie as either the first Black Captain America or Spider-Man. I definitely want to open up my own fashion house, and bring flared pants into the mainstream again, because I've been rocking hard with them flared pants for almost 2 years now, and I see it catching on, but they're not everyone's doing it the right way.
Gotta show them how it's done.
I gotta show them how it's done. And I want to do a skincare line. I want to have my own TV show. I want to do a cooking show. Maybe a couple Grammys. We'll see what happens.
There you go.
I'll go back on tour again, though, more than everything.
I was gonna say, you haven't done like your own solo tour yet, right?
Nah, I did a supporting tour for Landing Cube and Corday, but it's time for my show. And I'm
Right.
ready. I'm ready to see all the fans' beautiful, smiling faces.
Exactly. And it's crazy that like the kind of peak, or not the peak, but like a big moment in your career has been during the quarantine where we're not able to be in person and see people live. So what ways are you connecting with your audience? Are you doing any Instagram shows? Like how are you connecting with the
I,
people?
I talk to my fans every day. Literally every day I'm messaging somebody else or some way, just talking to them on the text app or something like that. Just because, like, I think a lot of people forget that you are literally made up of your fans. If you don't have no fans, there's no career. No one's gonna give a fuck about you if you don't got no fans, because your fans don't even give a fuck about you. So I always want to show love to them and appreciation in every way possible, doing Instagram live, DMing them, putting out more content for them to keep, entertained and learn from during these times. Because, bro, nobody likes to be in the house for 3 weeks at a time. Like, no one likes to be stuck in the house. So whatever I could do to, make people's day a little bit better in the meantime, let's keep it rocking.
That's awesome. And I'm sure your fans appreciate that too, seeing as though like you've had some day one supporters and people who really like rock with your music, supporting you in a time like this where you're having some big moments is very special to them, I'm sure, as well as you. So it's good to hear.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think, we are just going to be looking forward to El Dorado from you and then that new single as well as the Mood remix coming out next week. So we got a lot of stuff coming from you. I'm excited.
Man, I got a lot of stuff. Thank you for taking the time to talk.
Of course. Thank you so much for taking the time. It was great speaking with you.
Yeah, you too. Stay golden.